Hi there, everybody. Hell's Unicorn back here once again. I've actually done something in the past day which I don't usually do because my better sense tells me not to, and that was I watched the news rather than get it from the internet, which is where most people ought to get it. I actually turned on that decrepit piece of crap invention that they call a television, and I went ahead and I watched the news for an hour. I flipped between CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS. If it had a C in it, I was watching it. And then occasionally I would actually tune over to Fox News, even though I swore never to watch that station again after the debate in which they really trashed Ron Paul back in 2007. But I caved into the pressure. And what did I see? I saw pundit after pundit still talking about Ted Kennedy. The guy's been dead for almost 4 days now. I mean, isn't there something more important going on right now? I mean, the funeral was yesterday. I understand covering that, but come on! Jeez. Anyway, I've decided to do an additional commemoration. I've got my rosary on just to make it official. My final commemoration of Ted Kennedy. I've provided 5 links in the sidebar as just a little whetting of the appetite for what this person's life actually entailed. Mr. Ted Kennedy, almost 50 years in the Senate. All of the damage that this guy did. I mean, I dredged up just a couple little things. Quick Google search will get it for you. But I'm just going to spell it out right now. A woman who is as old as I am now lost her life because of this guy, this drunken idiot, born with a silver spoon shoved right up his stupid rich boy Irish ass. And he does no jail time. I mean, he's the O.J. Simpson of the late 60s, except for he's white. And even O.J. ended up getting persecuted because I guess, having, darker than average skin doesn't afford you the same kind of protection under the law as if you were some kind of really bigwig politician. Anyway, just to close up my thoughts here, I'll just say this once again. The reason why I'm no longer in communion with Rome is because this son of a bitch was never excommunicated. Right? Baby killer, murderer, glutton, drunk, prideful idiot. I mean, every single one of the 7 deadly sins, he violated basically all of them. Right? Forget about the damn 10 Commandments. Just forget about it. Liar, murderer, thieving bastard. All right, his father made money off of organized crime before getting into politics. I mean, read FDR's speech explaining why he selected to appoint Joe Kennedy Sr. All right, he appointed a fox to guard the chicken house, basically. That's basically how he put it. He said, and I quote, "In order to go after organized crime, I need somebody on the inside to work through it all." All right? Like I said in the second part of the shadow eulogy that I did, I think there was a curse on this family. And I think it was entirely on Joe Sr. I think the lives that each one of his sons lived were directly affected by the things that he did. His first son, dead in World War II, dying in a stupid staged war. In my opinion, it was a staged war. FDR, screwed up the country to no end and had little way out, and so mongered us a war with Japan in order to get into Europe and mess around in there. Second son, Jack Kennedy, who probably morally extremely compromised, but tried to do some good things, tried to expose some stuff. That family knew what happened to him. I'll say it straight up. I think that they knew what happened to him. They didn't say a goddamn word. They kept their mouths shut. 4 or 5 years later, Robert Kennedy, another guy with maybe some moral problems, but all in all, not a complete crook like the dad. Again. And no explanation whatsoever out of this cowardly piece of shit from Massachusetts, Ted Kennedy. Not one word. Just stood there silently, said, just please let me have my damn Senate seat and I'll keep my mouth shut. All right, I'm ranting and raving right now. But if you want my personal opinion, this Kennedy curse was probably visited the worse upon Ted Kennedy, because he actually got to live a long, pointless life rather than a shorter one. It's a shame for the rest of us because we've been subjected to a lot of crap because of him. Anyway, check out the links, and if you're feeling really diligent, do some digging. There's some good books out there on him. I've come across a couple of them, some of the things that he did in his life. But basically, Ted Kennedy, get over it, all right? The guy was less than a decent human being. I'll say this right now. I'm not going to condemn him to hell or be dancing on his grave the way good old Confederal socialist is doing right now, but I understand where he's coming from. And, from one Irish Catholic to another Teddy Kennedy, you're a piece of shit. With prudence to myself and benevolence to all of you, good evening.